Again, that's our call for tonight, that God will make us instruments of peace. That's the movement of this evening. Next up, I want to introduce Kwame Abdul-Bey, and he's going to bring some spoken word poetry to us. Kwame is an Afro-Indigenous abolitionist, artist, and scholar. He's joining us from Arkansas, and Kwame, I will pass it over to you. Thank you, friend.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm very glad to be here. I'm going to give you a poem that I wrote particularly for this event, titled WWJD, a FLOCC capital punishment poem. What would Jesus do? Would he label criminal a system that every third day is forced by preponderance of the evidence to admit that justice was never served? Would he acknowledge the critical fact that the throne upon which King Charles now sits is made of the gold and the lives forcefully borrowed from the breast of Alkebulan? Would he connect the through line of executive white privilege now claimed somewhere in Seminole land on Turtle Island as the nuclear family secrets are exposed by raids sprayed on Largo's winch to release the tightrope and bring balance back to the American scheme? Keystone Cop Karen patrols led by Ashley, Jan, and Marjorie turned off the AC in DC to bring down the House of Cards at the Capitol, further dividing the muddy waters of this nation on the 6th to create their own heaven, where there is no real punishment as they plead the 5th, where there is no investigation into the gallows meant to execute Cheney's 4th branch. Anyone with a third eye and ear can see and hear that what is not being reported on Fox News. There is no second chance to rebalance the scales, for liberty will be the first casualty as this nation loses its rhythm, its rhyme, its reason, its religion. All fell into launch because the lessons of the challenge before were not learned. You cannot force white Christian nationalism into spaces, places, and races without consequence of erecting and maintaining a codified white priority system of poverty with eugenic undertones. In the 23 since Prince welcomed the new power, each and every year, 122 average citizens have been exonerated into the arms of loving families with the combined 25,000 years of innocence and agency lost to the system. Man-Child in America, George Sweeney, Lonnie Dixon, and Emmett. Till we execute justice, not innocent Black boys, we will not yet acknowledge that the dark matter of space and time went into the black hole with all life coming out of this side of Mother Africa's Libya. Are we truly proponents of all life on this side, or just the other side of those lips? Are we truly proponents of life on this side, or just the greens and blues at the intersection of highways 49 and 61, where we now sit legislating morality? The cross and the lynching tree interpret each other. The crucifixion of the innocent son by the principality and the power instructs us, or at least it should have done so. Has the student captured the school and forgotten the teachings as theory? The noose is that Southern rite of human sacrifice that inks the pen of a revisionist history begun in 1608 when Captain Kendall tried to defy the American gods, thus always to tyrants. No more is Kwaku's shadow cast upon the former Confederate capital, for the virgin son lovers have walked into the light of abolition. My country, 'tis of the mockery of legalized ganja by prescription to generate hundreds of millions each month in tax revenue to fund more private prisons and more opportunities for militarized, indentured Irishmen who became New York City's finest to protect the property and serve only the interests of the principalities and the powers that be, while casting off the historical significance of Shays' rebellion as CRT. The Governor Rockefeller siblings are now the spirits standing upon our golden shoulders of remembrance to guide us as to the best way forward to rehabilitate our fallen brethren. 1971 was the year of the test. Nelson was first up in New Amsterdam as his playground. The voices of Attica yelled out to him for a chance to experience a humanity they thought was guaranteed. He answered with a massacre of more than 36 to silence justice for all. The braver Angel Winthrop followed in the land of the Quapaw. In the aftermath of the 1957 desegregation, he summons the likes of a fictionalized Henry Brubaker to chant down the walls of violence and corruption that enveloped Tucker Prison. Then he completely evacuated death row without hesitation. Two brothers with one blood, but two very different outcomes for choices embraced. What would Jesus do? Would he execute justice for the benefit of the underprivileged, the poor, the tired, the unrepresented, the Black and the brown? Would he visit the least of us in the prisons and jails, on parole and probation, to wash their feet while hearing their woes? Would he proclaim good news to the poor, open the prison doors, and ensure that public policy and church doctrine adhere to his true teachings without any interpretation? Would he enjoy the silence of his well-resourced and powerful friends? Would he crown to understand that these inequitable policies and inhumane doctrines have created a unified system that keeps those closest to the problem furthest from the power, the resources, and the influence to affect their own solutions? Reform, recommit, redirect, repair, restore, renew. If I were Jesus, that's what I would do. And I would require such of anybody who claims to follow me too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kwame, for that spoken word and for offering information that many of us may not know. I just want to remind all of us tonight that tonight may challenge you. Tonight may make you feel uncomfortable and hopefully provoke you and incite you to have uncomfortable conversations